Hi there people, welcome to this video. Today I'll be doing the Veil Between Realms story mission. Half of it in Nightmare difficulty. This week's first modifier of the first part of the mission is the Kami Shrine, so I can't do it solo. Because of that, I'm going to edit and put the other parts as a regular gold story mission. So I hope you guys can forgive me for that. The modifier for this week is deadly melee, which means that both you and the enemy deal extra damage with melee. That also applies to ultimates. If you saw the video on Tides of Battle that I made, the modifier was dull katanas and you couldn't kill with your melee weapon, and that applied to your ultimate, so this one also probably works with your ultimate. For this mission and this modifier, I would recommend avoiding combat unless you are very comfortable with melee combat. The reason for that is the enemies can deal quite a lot of damage, and the enemies that are attuned in this first part are all straw hats, so they are probably the toughest enemies or regular enemies that you can find, so it can be complicated. I'm going to use a lot of smoke bombs for assassinations. The ranged weapons are usually quite ineffective in this specific case, because they will break the attunement of the enemy, but they will deal damage as if they were still attuned. And then you need a second shot to deal full damage. So melee and ghost weapons can actually work. I use my my kunais quite a bit. This is the position for the scroll in the first part, so it's not on the first part. For this mission, I don't know which part it is, because as I said, I cannot complete it solo, but I will point out the other positions. This place right here is very good to get that what is it called, that challenge where you need to kill you need to assassinate an enemy after grapple swinging. So wait for the enemy to go back and you can kill it. I go in for the assassination, pop the smoke, kill all the enemies with assassinations. So it's pretty easy this way. And so you can keep your smoke bombs for situations like this. It's very effective if you're using an assassin. Clearly obvious cut, and you see that I forgot an enemy here. The modifier on the nightmare for this first part is Kami Shrine, as I mentioned. This means parkour, so good luck. I finished this first part and I go for the ammunition. This is very good. You'll see in some parts later on. I have... Oh, by the way, watch out for this transition between parts, because for this mission specifically, usually you have like a canyon and you have to jump. I was lucky to get the bridge on the first transition, but you watch out. because if you fall, it's gonna take a bit longer. I mess up and the enemy sees me, and I just forgot what I was about to talk about. Oh yeah, the blowgun and the poison will help me quite a bit on taking down some enemies that I couldn't normally take down with assassinations, and that's a very specific case I pointed out. But there's that. So on this beginning of the second part, there can be an enemy sleeping on near the campfire. And I will always say, go for the sleeping enemies. If you watch my videos, you're probably tired of hearing it, but it's true. You can basically kill any enemy as long as it's sleeping with a single hit. So here you can see I use the poison dart. I shoot the poison dart before, and it deals pitiful damage, but then I assassinate and the poison finishes the enemy off. So the sleeping enemies you can kill like the toughest Oni with a single hit if it's sleeping. So try to kill the enemies that are sleeping. It's pretty good. Watch out for the archers here. There can be two, one in this tower, one on the other tower. The archers can see you quite easily in these elevated positions. This does not apply only to this part of the mission. And it applies to basically any mission. The larger field of view that they get from elevated positions can be annoying if you're trying to do stealth, so keep that in mind. Here you have two enemies with blue attunement and one with green. I like to start with the green because the green is the furthest away and there's only one enemy with that attunement. So I quickly get it. This is a tip I would also give. If you can, on the first part, it's actually very good because if you're seen, it's the enemies on the middle can be called to your position. So I would say try to get the attunement if you're near it, and that will help you a lot in case you mess up. So I get the green attunement here, and I'll kill the one enemy with the attunement. Then I can quickly go to the blue attunement, which is much closer, and I can change it already. If I used the blue attunement, I would have to kill the second blue attuned guy, and I would be at risk because the green attuned guy would receive much less damage. So I killed them both with the class ability. It's pretty good. As always, I'm using group vanish. If you're doing it solo, try something else. The scroll here can be in two positions. In this camp, it can be on this hut. You can use the refreshing vanish. It's a 50-second cooldown, same as group vanish, and it gives you a bit of health back, so it's pretty good. And you also have the other option, which has poison. So you can choose whatever you like. I'm using this because when I used to play in pairs, it's actually pretty good. So there's that. Here I'm going to show something very interesting, something I really like to do with the assassin, which is using the ultimate for movement. I really like to do this on this part because you can take down the archers on their towers without having much trouble. I also do this because I know there are many dogs in this part of the mission. So this is the gold version, so it's not the nightmare version. The just for reference, the dogs, I talk about the dogs because I usually use my ranged weapon against them. And using your ranged weapon gives you a lot of resolve. If you're using the blowgun, you can fire extremely quickly and get your resolve back very quickly, even more if it's a headshot. So you can keep that in mind. I have the bad habit of keeping my ultimate and not using it, so you can use it quite freely if you know you're going to get it back quickly. That's something else to plan. Here use the poison again. I use the class ability to go invisible, and I only use it on the second guy because I need time and I need to be invisible to safely go and grab the other attunement. Here I try to get up and try to attract the enemies. If you like stealth, something nice you can do is manipulate the enemies by letting them see you just enough. So if you let the arrow turn yellow, they will go investigate your position. By the way, the second scroll here in the hut, so if you didn't find it before, it's probably here. And there's also a position on the third part. I break the attunements and the attunement totems, and now we're going to the last part. This Tori gate here is very interesting because you can either grab one of these attunements and do the standard jump, or you can actually skip that and come to the side here and go up normally. So if you hate jumping, you can do that. Here in the transition, we get what I mentioned before, so these rocks that you have to jump. If you fall, you're going to have to run all the way down, so it's not a problem, it just takes a bit of time. Here on the last part is a bit complicated, because you have 3 sets of 2 enemies, each with 1 attunement. I like to go for the orange one first, and just to show you can actually jump through here, you don't need to go to through the other side, which risks being seen. And I like to take down the archers first. I then decide to go with the blue attunement, which has 2 melee enemies. So normally I would actually go for the green one, because the guy with the bombs is quite annoying. But I ultimately decided to go for the blue attunement because it's closer. Here I try to bait the melee enemy to follow me, so I can get some distance and kill the other one with the bombs. So watch out for melee. This situation can be complicated with the modifier, so pay attention to that. Destroying the totems here is, I would recommend starting with the one in the middle, Be sure to heal and in case you got hurt, because this last part is quite complicated. The order I like to do it is the green, the blue, and then the yellow, because after you destroy the totems, 3 enemies will appear. So I like to go destroy the yellow totem last, or orange, and run back to grab the same attunement again. But this way I will find the first enemy, and it's quite an easy enemy to deal with. If you're used to the brute Oni, like this one that spawned in, you can actually kill that enemy pretty quick. It's the same attack without AoE, so it's actually easier. Then I go for the green attunement just to kill the Oni, which is the biggest threat. And I kill it quickly, and I go to the blue and use the kunai to destabilize the enemy and poison it, which is great to deal some extra damage. I have Deadly Nightshade. The scroll is near the rocks in this third part. This mission is not too hard if you have the smoke bomb and is able to assassinate. That's one of the reasons why I say the assassin is one of the strongest classes for solo nightmare. It has an extremely useful kit, so if you're having trouble, you can try to use it. That's it. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I read and answer all the comments, so if you have a question, you can put it there. See you next time.